Hello there and welcome to another Hero Arts video. It's Michelle Short here with a different type of video. Today I wanted to take a look at my favourite hero products of 2022. I'm mainly focusing on tools and mediums today, since I often think that they get forgotten about with the hype of new releases. So I'm going to start off with the compact cutter. This is a mini die cutting machine that cuts a variety of materials and is compatible with thin metal dies. I really love the size of it. It's not tiny, but it is really nice and small and very portable. It's quite lightweight, easy to move around, and it's also easy to store in a drawer, or it doesn't take up much space on a desk either. The cutting machine does come with 3 die cutting plates, and these are extended plates. So they're 3 inches wide by 8.5 inches tall. And it comes with 2 B plates, which are the cutting plates, and then also an A plate, which is a little bit thicker. So I'm going to show you here how to use the machine. So you want to cut into the B plate, and the instructions say to have it facing upwards. I have done it downwards as well and haven't found a problem, but I am going to show you the correct way. When I first got my cutting plate here, and I used it a couple of times, it did warp slightly, but as I rotated it and moved the plate, made sure to rotate it, turn it over, flip it over, make sure that I'm not cutting in the exact same place all the time, it flattened out perfectly, and now there is no warping at all. So if that does happen when you first get a machine, just take your time to try and make sure that you rotate the plate enough, and then there is absolutely no warping with these plates whatsoever. So I'm just running it through the cutting machine here, and it cuts absolutely beautifully. Like I said, you can cut downwards if you want to, and I haven't found it to be a problem, but do cut into those B plates because they come as a pack of 2 in the set, and you can kind of rotate them a little bit easier. To go along with die cutting, there are the Hero Tools metal snippers. These are great for cutting in between dies. So they've got a really nice sharp tip, and I really love that they have that safety cap on the top as well, because they are quite sharp. They're nice and easy to hold. And I'm just going to show you here with a set that I haven't actually completely cut apart yet. This is the Celebrate Words Fancy dies, another one of my favourites. And I'm just showing you here how easy it is to cut in between the pieces of little die there. And for those little bits that end up sort of being a little bit sharp, I do remove them, but I actually just wiggle the snippers and it comes off really easily. No kind of snipping bits of metal and flying across the room or anything like that. So I find those snippers really handy. And I wanted to just show you here how quick and easy it is to die cut a little sentiment. I use this compact cutter a lot for sentiments, for smaller little dies, and also like if I'm cutting a sentiment that I've stamped out, if I want to cut it into like a label or a sentiment strip, I use this machine all the time. It's, like I said, really handy just to have on your desk, and I do find that I gravitate towards this machine a lot more than I actually do with my larger machines, purely because my larger machines are actually in a cupboard, so it takes me a little while to kind of get them out, whereas this machine I can just pick up, pop on my desk really easily. So next up are the ink blending brushes. I love these brushes. They come separately, or you can purchase them as a pack of 2, and they come in extra large, large, medium and small. They are a really beautiful brush. You've got that black ergonomic handle which has some movement to it, so it's really nice, fits in your hand really nicely. And then there is the white oval bristles. I personally really love having them white. I like to have the white bristles so that you can really see the true colour of the ink that you're ink blending with. Now this isn't necessarily part of the brushes, but this is the handy holder, and although it is used for lots of different tools, you can pop anything in it. Me personally, I use it for my ink blending brushes. So when I've done my ink blending, I just pop them in this holder keeps them off my desk. I sometimes find that if I don't do that, I might end up with ink all over my white desk or something like that, which is never great. And it just holds them really easily. So then if I want to use it again, I can pop it out. And then I also keep them in there for when I want to go and clean them. I do clean my brushes, but you don't necessarily have to. Just make sure that you don't get too much build up of ink on the brushes. But yeah, I really love this little handy holder to go along with the brushes. So because the brushes come in lots of different sizes, I wanted to show you here how I do use the different sizes. So I'm starting off with the extra large brush, and I'm going in with Amethyst Core ink. These also 3 inks happen to be one of my favourite ink blends. So I've got the tag here, and it's cut from Deluxe White cardstock. And what I like about the extra large brushes in particular is that I can get a really lovely fade to white. I'm using white here today on this tag, but this could be any colour of cardstock, and it would just fade really nicely towards the colour of the cardstock. You can see how much of a nice fade you get. I personally really like that look. I know not everyone does it, but I'm very much a clean and simple stamper and card maker, and I really love that kind of blended to white look. So I've just added some towards the bottom, and as I bring the brush up, it automatically just fades to white, and those brushes are really lovely and soft, and I think it just takes away any of the hassle of ink blending. For me personally, I find them really easy to use. I'm then going in here with the large brush, and this is just a little bit smaller than the extra large, obviously. And I'm using it to add the next colour, which is grape juice, and I wanted it to be more focused towards the bottom of the tag and still fade up to white at the top. So I added some of that grape juice onto the large brush, and now I'm going back in with my original brush, the extra large brush, and I'm just blending those 2 colours together. I'm not adding any extra ink, and it just looks really pretty. And this is how I personally really like to blend. I do like to jump between the different sizes of the brushes, and then I do want some extra darkness at the bottom, so I'm going to go in with the small brush and the pitch black core ink, and I'm just going to add a very small amount of that to the bottom. If I'd done this with a larger brush, I think that I would have got more of the black, and I don't really want it to actually read as black. I just want it to be darker, and so I find that with this little brush I can really just add that towards the bottom, and then I do go back in again with the large brush with the grape juice, and I just blend that out further. So this is how I personally like to use all of the different sizes. I do also like to use some of the smaller sizes for stenciling. I find that size really helpful. I do gravitate towards the larger brushes the most for this kind of work if I'm just doing ink blending. So moving on to some people's least favourite thing, and that is cleaning. I personally quite like cleaning my products, but I know that it can be a hassle at times. Hero Arts does make it a lot easier for us. So this is the Ultra Clean Stamp Cleaner, and I personally absolutely love it for cleaning my stamps, but I also love it for cleaning things like acrylic blocks, my stencils. I clean my craft mat with it. I've even been known to clean my desk with it. I just find it a really lovely cleaner to use, and I haven't found anything so far that this won't clean. To go along with it is the new scrubber block. I really love this thing. You wouldn't necessarily think something like this you would fall in love with, but it's so easy to use. It's basically a wood block, like a stamp block, and it has a scrubbing pad on the bottom that just lifts off. It's kind of stuck on with Velcro. There is some replacement pads that you can change quite easily. So the idea of this block is that if you've got a stamp in your stamp positioner, your MISTI, whatever you like to use, you can then clean it whilst it's on the door of the MISTI, and I find that really helpful because ordinarily I'd have to take that off and actually clean it separately, whereas with the scrubber block you can keep it in if you want to change colours or anything like that. That's really helpful. This, what you're seeing here, is my ordinary block so it's a little bit dirtier. So moving on, we're going to talk about Hero Paste now. At the moment there are 4 shades of Hero Paste. So there is the White Pearl, absolutely beautiful. There is the Gold. there is the plain white, and then there is the glitter paste as well. They come in really large 4-ounce pots, and I think it's going to last you a very, very long time. I wanted to show you my favourite way of using paste, and that's through a stencil. I have adhered the sprinkle dot stencil onto my craft mat here with the tag that I ink blended underneath. I'm taking some of the Glitter Hero paste and adding that onto my craft mat using the Hero Tools palette knife. I'm then closing that jar really well, and then I'm taking some of the paste and then using that palette knife I'm going to spread that over the tag. If I'm doing anything that's over ink blending, I like to add the paste onto my work surface first, rather than accidentally maybe contaminating the jar of paste with any ink that might be picked up on the palette knife. I can remove that stencil. I am going to go and wash that stencil because, like I said, I do like to clean my products. And then I'm going to show you the beautiful texture and dimension that that paste has added onto the tag. And you'll also get that really beautiful glittery sparkle using this particular paste. But it would work well with any of the pastes. I just think they're so pretty, and like I said, a really great way to add texture and dimension to your projects. Next up are the Hero waxes. Being a clean and simple card maker, this is definitely a new product to me, and I haven't explored it fully, but what I have, I absolutely love. The metallic wax-based paste comes in 1-ounce tins and in 5 colours currently. It dries permanently on most surfaces, and you can use it in so many different ways. You could use it with a spatula through stencils like I did with the Hero paste. You can mix it with water and splatter it. You can paint with it, and you can also spread it with your finger like I'm doing here. So I'm taking the birthday word that I cut out, and I'm just added some of the wax onto my finger, and I'm just kind of burnishing it onto the die cut. And I think this is a really cool way to use it. I've used this in the past on a video as well using my finger, and I find it quite easy just to add it in this way. And I quite like it on kind of like towards the bottom of this die cut word. I've done it before with embossing powders, and I really love the look, and this is a really quick and easy way to do it, and I love the metallic shine that these pastes give. So last but not least are Glimmer Metallic inks. These are not new to the Hero line, but they're one of my favourites, and I often think that they get forgotten about. So they come in sets of 2. There's purple and blue, green and red, copper and bronze, rose gold and white, and gold and pewter. They come in 0.5 ounce glass bottles with an eyedropper screw top. They do look a little bit funny to start with, but you do just want to shake them, and they then look really nice afterwards. And they've got, like I said, that screw top with an eyedropper in. So what you can do is unscrew the top, and then you've got that kind of bit on the top that you can squeeze it, and so you can get some of the medium into the dropper and then kind of squeeze it and it would fall out. I'll be honest with you, I don't tend to do that much because actually there's quite a lot on the dropper itself, and for how I tend to use them, I find that I don't really need to do that, but I wanted to show you that that is what they are for. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a way that I really like to use these metallic glimmer inks, and that is for ink splatter. So I'm taking a piece of non-stick craft sheet, and I've added a little bit of water to that. I do like to slacken them down just slightly. They are quite a thick medium, which actually is really nice. You can do so many things with these. You can paint with them, do all sorts with them. But like I said, I'm just going to show you the splattering for today. So I've taken a bit of the white ink and I'm just mixing it there with a paintbrush with that water, and then I'm going to bring in my tag here and I'm just going to splatter it onto the tag. What I love in particular about these inks is that even though I'm splattering it down onto an inked surface, they don't tend to pick up any of the colour of the ink, which I personally really love. And also because they are more of a kind of thicker viscosity, that you actually get a little bit of texture from the splatters as well, and they also dry really, really quickly, which is why I absolutely love them in particular for splatters. But like I said, you can use these in lots of different ways. So I'm just kind of hitting that paintbrush there to splatter that onto the tag, and then I can bring that up to the camera so you can see the beautiful metallic shine that they give. And then also, like I said, you kind of get a bit of texture from them as well. I just think they're absolutely beautiful, and like I said, they often get forgotten as well, which I think is a real shame. So that was a look at some of my favourite hero products of 2022. I'd love to hear what yours are. I do apologise for the sound of my voice in this video. I am recovering from flu, so I do apologise for that. But links to the products that I used and shared will be listed in the description bar on YouTube and also over on the Hero Arts blog. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.